We have been keeping ourselves busy this winter with so many different home projects. We live in a very simple home here on our farm that we built last summer. So we're still getting settled into this place, and there are just so many projects on our to-do list that need to be done. And with farm life, doing these projects on these cold winter days is definitely the best time to tackle that to-do list. Before things get busy this spring and summer, we're going to try to knock out as many of these home projects as we can. So we built a shed here on our property and then finished off 1,000 square feet living quarters inside of that shed to make our home. Even though our house is so simple and inside of a shed, I still want to pour into this place and make it as functional and as comfortable as possible for us. So a lot of these home projects are just trying to put up shelving and really utilize the space that we have. I thought open shelves could add some aesthetics in my kitchen as well as some practical place to store things. I'm trying to keep all of my projects very simple and just use things that I already own to decorate. So these open shelves are just regular old oak boards from Lowe's that I stained with the same leftover stain we had from our butcher block countertop. And I'm just trying to fill them up with some pretty dishes that I already have, but also make them a practical place to store things. When we were looking to build here on the farm, we were trying to find the most affordable way to get moved up here without having to take on just a whole lot of debt, because we have so many more plans for our business that we really didn't want to be strapped to a monthly mortgage that was too high for us to maintain what we had going with the farm also. So we looked into a lot of different options for living out here on the farm. There was no old farmhouse or anything that we could fix up, so we had to build new. We decided to build a 40 by 60 metal building and then finish off 1,000 square feet inside of that building to make a comfortable living quarters, all inside of a big metal shed. And the reason we did that is because we knew it could be a comfortable place to live in the short term, but also a building that would serve us well in the long term. It has really been a dream of mine to live on this farm, and we were so excited to get moved up here this summer. But summertime on a farm is not the best time to tackle all of these home projects. So now that it's winter, we're trying to get a lot of the little projects done around the house. And also there's just a lot of farm projects to be done during the winter time when everything starts to slow down. It's a great time to start cleaning up around the farm as well. One of the first projects on my winter farm cleanup to-do list was getting out where the pigs were all summer long and picking up their area. We raise pigs on our farm every summer, and then we process them in the fall for local customers and for our own freezers as well. So the pigs have all gone to the processor, and I've been meaning to get out here to pick up this netting. So today, when it was sunny and a bit warmer than it's been, I decided it was a good time to get out and finally pick up all of this hog fencing. We will raise them in a different spot altogether next summer. So it's important to just get out here and pick up all the fencing so that way I can store it in the barn and keep it out of the weather. So hopefully it's all good to go for next summer when we get pigs again. On the farm, no 2 days are the same, but they all follow a very similar rhythm, especially with the change of seasons. Each new season brings on a new set of chores and different obligations on the farm, so that rhythm is always changing. But as I settle into wintertime, I'm just embracing these slower days and the lighter chore load, and I'm really taking the time to do some of those projects in my home and also just around the farm that I didn't get to over the summertime. Farm life really lends itself to embracing each season as they come. I am always looking forward to the change of season, but I also need to remember to embrace the season that I'm in. And during the wintertime, the way that I can do that the best is to just get outside as much as I possibly can as the weather allows, especially on these days when it's not super cold and the sun is shining. I try to get outside first thing in the morning and spend as much time as I can cleaning up around the farm. Things that I couldn't get to because I was too busy during the summertime are really enjoyable things to do on these better winter days. I actually got outside extra early today, and that's because our feed got delivered. So, about every month, we get bulk cattle feed delivered. And I always go out to meet the feed guy and just make sure everything gets unloaded into the proper areas. And while I was outside, I just wanted to go ahead and do a few of the little chores that I do every morning. And now we're back inside, and now we're going to make a quick breakfast before my dad gets here. We have some herd work that we need to do today. We had a few issues with our breeding bulls, and we also have an older cow that we need to pull off of the herd. So we just need to take this time today to do a little bit of herd cleanup. This is something that on the cattle farm you never love to do, but it has to be done. Herd management is all part of the business, and it's how we're able to maintain a profitable cattle herd, by getting rid of the ones that aren't being productive so that we can continue to afford to feed the ones that are and keep building our business. So that is on the agenda for today. And although it is not my favorite thing to share, I do think it's important to share the real life of what goes on at a farm. And this is just part of farm life, dealing with animals that are no longer healthy or no longer producing. And we have to manage our herd efficiently so that we can continue to grow a healthy cattle herd. We are out here feeding and doing chores, and I came out this morning to help my dad so that way we could walk this cow here up to the barn. Unfortunately, she did not raise a calf this year, so she had twins in the fall, and they were super little, and they ended up both dying. And normally we would just write that off as, oh, they were twins, there was something wrong. But the same thing happened to her last year. She had a calf. It was not twins. It was a singleton calf that was born super small, and it died also. So this is the second year that this cow will not be raising a calf for us. Unfortunately, there's not a very good outcome for a cow in a herd that does not produce a calf in a beef herd like this. We also have one of our breeding bulls that we loaded up yesterday, took to the vet to get checked to be if he was breeding sound, and he was not. And we actually kind of already thought that might be the case. So he's gonna go also. So we're getting her and the bull up to the barn. The bull's already up there. We're gonna go ahead and load them, and we're gonna be getting rid of them. And then tomorrow we're actually getting 2 new bulls to put out here with our herd. We hate to get rid of them, but if they're not producing a calf, they're really not valuable to our herd. And an older cow like this and a bull doesn't fit into our beef program. So it's cattle that we raise to sell for our customers. So that's the calves that we raise in a very particular way. So it can't just be any cow or any bull off the herd. So the call cows and the call bulls, the ones we're getting rid of, have to go to a local sale barn, and we just have to get rid of them on the local commodity market. It's the only outlet that we have for them. While my dad is finishing up filling their round bales, I'm gonna go and try to get this cow walked up closer so that we can get her sorted off the herd and then bring her up to the barn so we can load her tomorrow. It truly is hard as a farmer to load up animals like this and haul them away when they are no longer being productive in the herd. But it does seem like every year there is a percentage of older cows that need to be called off, and younger heifers have to be raised in order to take their place so that we can continue to build a productive cattle herd. My dad is hauling the bull and that old cow away, and actually while he's out, he's going to go pick up our 2 new bulls that we're going to replace them with for breeding season. Obviously, it's not ideal to have to do all this during breeding season. So now while he's gone, I'm going to quickly set up a little alleyway so that way when he gets back, before unloading the new bulls, we can catch our other bull that's out at pasture right now and bring him up, because we don't want to have 2 strange bulls out with another bull. They definitely will fight. So we're going to pull our other old bull, and we're just probably not going to use him for the season and just use the 2 new ones that are used to being together. And so in order to do that, we have a group of steers, which are male calves, out on this pasture. So that bull's just going to go out with them. So I'm going to set up a little alleyway fence really quick so when my dad gets back, we can quickly walk the old bull back out to pasture with those ones. It is so windy and muddy out here. So we had a pretty big snow like a week ago. And then yesterday it was 52 degrees. So everything melted and it's super muddy. And then now we have a cold front coming in tomorrow. I think it's supposed to get down to like 0 degrees or maybe even negative degrees. So today it's just like super windy as the weather is shifting. But this is a pretty pressing issue with having to switch out bulls right in the middle of breeding season. So we really can't be stopped by the weather. We're going to have to catch this bull today, unload these other bulls, and just get right on to breeding season. So this is definitely a time-sensitive issue. This should be enough for him to walk straight in through with those other calves out there. Doesn't really take a whole lot. It's just enough to keep him off of the pasture and staying on course. My dad just returned back from dropping off that older cow and the bull that was no longer productive at the local sale barn. And fortunately, he was able to go to another local farmer to pick up 2 bulls that he had for sale right in the middle of breeding season. So we were so lucky that we were able to find bulls that would be able to continue to get our cattle bred so that we can have calves next fall. So we're quickly just pulling off our other herd bull so that way we don't have anybody fighting. Strange bulls never really get along, or you can't trust that they're going to get along. So we wanted to pull this older bull that we had off the herd just to make sure that nobody gets hurt before releasing the 2 young bulls that we just purchased. Thanks so much for following along for another week here on our farm in the wintertime. Though this is a slower time of the year for us, no 2 days are the same, and there's always so much going on. I look forward to sharing more with you next week.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty good.